Hi, I'm Liz at Susan Paradis Piano Teaching Resources, and I'm here today to show you how to customize and print your studio calendar. Written instructions are included in the digital download, but I thought I'd also give visual instructions because I know that is helpful to some people, including myself. If you haven't already, make your way over to susanparadis.com and purchase this year's studio calendar. Go to your accounts, and in the Download tab, you will see your digital downloads. The studio calendar will include at least 3 files: the calendar itself with the mini calendars going up and down the sides, the instructions, and a Word template. Pick the calendar file and print it. Depending on the brand of printer you have or what kind of computer you have, your printing dialog box may look different. I suggest you conserve printer ink by doing at least a test run using draft mode, sometimes called eco mode. And, as always, make sure it's set at actual size. Look at our lovely print! I can just set this aside for now. There are 2 options for creating the custom schedule that goes in the blank space: using the provided template for Microsoft Word, or using a different word processor software and adjusting the margins yourself. I'll demonstrate both. For the Microsoft Word template, open up the template file in Microsoft Word. To create a crisp, clean look, I am using a table. The problem with a white border, though, is that we can't see it. It's hard to know what our table looks like. So a quick fix for this is to go to Layout and then say View Grid Lines. So now we have these dotted lines showing us where the table is, and it will really help us as we go through and edit this. Now you can format this however you like, but in the template, I suggest that you write down the months, the dates, and the event reminders. So for example, this could be August, and I'm just going to pull a random day. Oops. And we can write lessons start. Now feel free to bold or change your font or do anything like that you want so that you can fit this all into our space. But you can see that this right now is set to the side to print in that blank space of our calendar. So I quickly just wrote up a little schedule, and as I did that, I decided to add a little space in between the months. I made the months a little bigger, just however you want to do it. But one thing that did happen is that I got a lot of extra pieces down here, so I'm just going to select those and right click on them and say delete cells. We're going to say delete entire row. Boop. And now I've got a little extra bits that if I wanted, I could write something like notes. Payment is due at the beginning of the month. See my policies for late payments and missed or makeup days. Whatever you want to write, I'm just making stuff up. All right, we're done with our Microsoft Word template. It's ready to print. But before I do that, let me show you the other option in case you don't have Microsoft Word and you still want to do this. On to the second option. If you don't have Microsoft Word, don't worry. You can still make a custom schedule in any other word processing software, such as Google Docs or Pages. We just need to set the margins so that it fits on the page correctly. So here I am in a Google Docs changing the margins. I'm going to go to File, Page Setup, and these are the settings I do. From the top, I'm going to use 2 inches. From the bottom, I'm going to keep it as 1. And on either side, I'm going to say 2.5, 2.5. So that's the left and right margins. Now you can see my cursor has moved down here, and if I was to write a whole bunch of stuff, it only shows up in that side of the paper. So obviously we don't want that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to insert a table. Depending on the program you use, Inserting a table is going to be different. And if you need additional help on how to insert tables and how to change table settings, please just do a quick Google. The resources online are endless and will teach you even more things than you ever imagined. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that table by saying insert table, and I'm just going to do 2 rows. I don't really know how many rows I want. If I make too many, it's okay. I can delete out the extra. If I don't make enough, it's okay. I can add more. So here is my table. I'm just going to copy and paste my information I had from my previous table. Right now it's set to white, so I'm just going to take my table and just for a second select it and change the color of the grid so I can see it. I'm going to move this row over because I think that looks a little better. And then I'm going to make the table white again by selecting the table. Great, that looks good. And then I'm going to add my additional notes to the bottom if that's something I want to do. I just copied and pasted that from another document. Format this. Remember, you can change this to any font you want, but basically all we need is something that's going to allow us to get a nice little small schedule with space on either side. Regardless of how you created your custom schedule, the next steps are the same for everyone. We need to print our custom schedule back onto our pretty calendar paper we printed earlier. I recommend again doing a test print to figure out which way you need to orient the calendar paper back into your printer tray or your printer paper feeder. After the paper is loaded, open your custom schedule file and print it onto that calendar paper you just loaded. Now it's complete. If you are printing many copies of this, then simply change the number of copies in your printer dialog box, print a bunch of the calendar papers all at once, and then flip the whole stack around, and then print the custom schedule with the same amount of copies. Another way is to treat your calendar as a master copy and then just make photocopies of it. So you don't have to do this process over and over again. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you enjoy the studio calendar at Susan Paradis Piano Teaching Resources.